Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on number system. Today we will be looking at some concepts on the unit digit of any number in any base system, then remainder upon when a number in any other base system is divided by some other number, then some divisibility test for some specified base system. So this will be the broader agenda for today's discussion. Let's start. So first we'll check the divisibility test of a number when divided by some other number. So here we will be looking at two cases. One of the case is when a number in base b is divided by b minus 1 or its factor. So then in that case the divisibility rule is nothing but if the sum of the digits of the number is divided by b minus 1 or its factor, then the number n itself will be divisible by b minus 1. So we'll start by taking the analogy from base 10, what happens in a decimal system, and then we'll build from there. So we have seen, I mean, in decimal system, divisibility rule of 9 is nothing but sum of digits, right? And how had we arrived at this? This is because if any number a, b, c, d, e in base 10, we could have written this as a into 10 raised to power 4 plus b into 10 raised to power 3 plus c into 10 raised to power 2 plus d into 10 plus e. Right. Now if this number a b c d e, so suppose this is n, so when n is divided by 9, what would be the remainder? So remainder would be now on the respective terms a into 10 raised to power 4 and b into 10 raised to power 3 when we divided by 9. So now we know that 10 by 9 will give a remainder 1. So by the remainder theorem which we have seen in the previous discussions, here the remainder would be a, here the remainder would be b, here the remainder would be c, and so on, right? So here we get that instead of dividing n, which is a b c d e, by 9, if we can just add the digits a plus b plus c plus d plus c, that itself will give the remainder upon division by 9. So from here we had arrived the divisibility rule of 9. So similarly now we will say for see for some other bases, right? So base say 7 I take, right? So here n is given as a b c d e in base 7. This I can write as a into 7 raised to power 4. I'm just expanding the bracket here, plus b into 7 raised to power 3 plus c into 7 square plus d into 7 plus e. Now if this n is divided by base is 7, so here the rule says if this is divided by 6, what would be the remainder? The remainder would be again what happens, I mean we divide the individual terms by 6, and here we know 7 by 6 remainder is 1, so it will be a into 1, b into 1, c into 1, so that is a plus b plus c plus d plus e. So now see the similarity here in the case when the base was 10, a number in base 10 upon division by 9, the remainder would be, or the divisibility rule would be nothing but the summation of the individual digits a b c d e. Similarly, if a number in any other base system, say b, when divided by b minus 1, so that in that case divisibility would be nothing but again the sum of the digits. So that is what has been written here, and this is a generic rule. Now I write this expression for a generic base, say base n. So what happens here, capital N is a number in base 7, sorry, base small b. If this is expanded, uh, I this is base is small n. So if this is expanded, this will be nothing but a into n raised to power 4 plus b into n cube plus c into n square plus d into n plus e, right? Now when this number will be divided by n minus 1, where n is the base, so n minus 1, the remainder we know now, n upon n minus 1 remainder would be 1, n upon n minus 1 remainder would be 1, so 1 cube is 1. So here we know it will be a plus b plus c plus d plus c. That is what is written in the statement form here, and this is the generic sort of a derivation which we have seen now. So right, so basis this we can do. So if the question is to find the uh, remainder when a number in any base say 7 is divided by 6, so what we need to do, we need to just add the digits. And here one thing should be noticed, that the addition would be now base 10. Why? Because when ABCDE is in base 7, when we are writing in this form, this means we have expanded this in base 10 now, right? This is the procedure of converting a number from base 7 to base 10, no? This we have seen. When we want to convert this number ABCD in base 7 to base 10, we just expand this. How do we expand? A into 7 raised to power 4 plus. So now this is in base 10, so even this is in base 10, so this addition will be a simple addition in base 10, right? So this is the beauty of this whole thing. And so one part we have seen ki when that number is divided by n minus 1 or b minus 1, where n or b is the base, that is the case. Now just in this case I take one sub case wherein had the divisor instead of 6, it had it been n by 3 in this case. So what would be n by 3? So here n by 3 means 7 by 3, again remainder is 1, so 1 raised to power 4 1. Here also 7 by 3, remainder would be 1. So when this number is divided by 3, again it gives the same remainder, right? Because 7 by 3 remainder is 1, 1 raised to power 4, again 7 by 3. So on the remainders it will be a plus b plus c plus d plus e. So hence this term, what we are saying, not only b minus 1 or even its factor, even if say b is the base, so not only b minus 1 upon division by b minus 1, the divisibility rule will be sum of the digits. Even if the divisor is any factor of b minus 1, in this case factor of 6 is 3, so even in case of 3 the divisibility rule stands the same. So this is another, I mean, point which we should notice. So now with this basic idea we'll move ahead and solve a few examples. Here the first example says find the remainder when 4 3 5 6 2 3, that is in base 7, is divided by 6, right? So we have to find the remainder. So first of all, if we can see, the base is 7 and the divisor is 7 minus 1, n minus 1 types. So the divisibility rule or the remainder rule is sum of the digits. So that is nothing but 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus 3, right? This upon 6. This further, if we are just making use of remainder theorem. So here the addition would be 4 3 7 5 12 6 18 20 23 23 upon 6, the remainder would be 5. So a couple of points to notice. I did the addition in base 10, right? I did not add 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus 3 in base 7. I added this in base 10. Why? Because now after, I mean, what here we have seen कि when we are ABCD in base 7, when we write in this form, it means we have expanded this in base 7, base 10 now, right? And from there we derive ki this step can further be written as a plus b plus c plus d. So we now know ki why, I mean, this addition should be in base 10, not in base 7, and that is easier also for us. So here we get a remainder as 5. Very simple, I mean, within 1 or 2 seconds we can directly get this. Now let us see example 2. Here we have to find the remainder when 4 3 5 0 2 3 is divided by 3, right? And base is 7. So what happens? Base is 7, so if this number is divided by 6, the divisibility rule would be nothing but the sum of the digits. But this is a divisor is 3, so 3 here is a factor of 6. So what we do, we just again apply the same rule. It will be nothing but 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 upon 3. Again, needless to say, this is in base 10. So this becomes 4, 3, 7, 5, 12, 12, 5, 20, 20 by 3. The remainder would be 2, right? 4, 3, 7, 5, 12, 12 to 14, 3, अच्छा, 17, this is 10, 17. So 17, the remainder would be again 2 only in this case. Now we look at this example. These are all, I mean, very simple. We just go very quick. We not to spend much of our time because this we have anyway seen in the basic concept we have seen in the remainders discussion. Today we are just applying a slightly a different concept of base into this application of base system into remainder theorem now. So here we have to find the remainder when 4, 5, 7, 3, 5, 4, 3, 1 is divided by 8, and this number is in base 9. So this is pretty simple, 9, 8. So this divisor is 1 less than the base. So we just add the digits, 4 plus 5, 9 plus 7, 16 plus 3, 19 plus 5, 24 plus 4, 28 plus 3, 20, 31 plus 1, 32, right? So 32 by 8, remainder should be 0. Okay, that is perfectly divisible. Here also we'll see, do the same thing, 4, 3, 5, 7, 8, 7, 2, 3, 8 by 4, and this is in base 9, right? 4, 3, 5, 7, 8, 7, 2, 3, 8, right? So again, see, notice that base is 9. So ideally, if the divisor was 8, it would have given the remainder rule as sum of the digits. Now since the divisor is 4, which is a factor of 8, so then also that rule is applicable. So now what we'll do, we just add these digits, 4, 3, 7, 5, 12, 12, 7, 19, 19, 8, 26, 26, 33, 35, 38, 46 by 4, the remainder would be 2, right? Now let us see. Now another example, it's given here. Find the remainder when 1, A, 7, 2, 9, B, 7, 5 upon 15. So here base is 15 and divisor is 7. So if we see here 15 being a base, so if the divisor is 14 or its factor, the divisibility rule would be summation of the digits. So here summation of digits is 1 plus a is 10. So 1 plus 10 is 11, 11, 7, 18 to 20, 29, 29 plus 11, 40, 40 plus 7, 47 plus 5, 52. 52 by 7, the remainder would be 3. So straight away, right? Otherwise, what would have happened? I mean, if we had not used this rule, we would have to first convert this number to base 10 by writing 1 into 10 raised to power 15 plus a into 10 raised, sorry, 1 into 15 raised to power 7 plus a into 15 raised to power 6 and so on. That would have been really difficult. Using this rule, we can make the life very easy. Now, see another example. The number 10273x9 is in base 11. Okay, so this is a number 10273x9, and that is represented in base 11. The number is divisible by 5. Good. So this number is divisible by 5. Find the value of or values of digit x. So see, divisibility by 5 and base is 11. So we know if base is 11 on the 10 or the factors of 10, the divisibility rule will be summation of the digits. So here, if this has to be divided by 5, remainder would be summation of the digits. What is the sum of summation of the digit? 1 plus 0, 1 plus 2, 2, 3, 3, 7, 10, 13, 19, 22, 22 plus x upon 5. And since this is perfectly divisible, so this should be 0, right? So this implies 20 plus x. Since remainder is 0, so 20 plus x can be either what? The next factor of multiple of 5 is 25 or 30 or 35 or 40 and so on, right? Then only this remainder would be 0. So from here x would be what? 25 minus 22 is 3, or 30 minus 8, or 13, or so on. Now see, since base is 11, so what happens? X less than equal to 10, right? To comply with this, because base is 11. So x less than equal to 10, so only these two satisfy this, and further number would not be a solution to this x. So possible values of x is nothing but 3 comma 8. So this is the answer to this question. So now next we'll move to a next divisibility rule. When a number given in base b is divided by b plus 1. So again here we'll start with a decimal system, because whatever is true in decimal system, similar analogy would be applied in other bases also. So what happens in decimal system? So see, if n is given as a b c d e in base say 10, so this I can write as 10 raised to power 4 into a plus b into 10 raised to power 3 plus c into 10 square plus d into 10 plus e, right? This is the way we can expand this number now. Now if we have to check the divisibility of n by base plus 1, b plus 1, 11. So this we have seen in remainders discussion. So what happens? The remainder here would be 10 raised to power 4. So we know 10 by 11 remainder is minus 1. Minus 1 raised to power 4 is plus 1. So here it will be plus a. In this term, 10 by 11 minus 1 raised to power 3 is minus 1. So it will be minus b. So a minus b plus c minus d plus e. So what do we see? We see that alternate sum of the digits. We'll start from right hand side. We'll take the this as a plus sign. So e plus c plus a, e plus c plus a, and then uh, what would be subtracted from there? Summation of the alternate digits b and d. So that is what we are doing. Alternate sum of the digits and the net sum of that. Right. So this is what it has been written here. Divisibility rule of b plus 1 and its factor. Factor also same thing. This we'll see is net difference of the sum of the alternate digits. If the net difference of the sum of the alternate uh, digit of the number in base b is divisible by b plus 1, then the number itself is divisible by b. So that is, I mean, this is by 11. So if this here the remainder is 0, then it means that n upon 11 is perfectly divisible. If there is a remainder, then this is not perfectly divisible, right? So here we get obtain a divisibility rule for base 10. Now we will check for say base is equal to we write 9. What happens in that case? So same n a b c d e in base 9. So this we can write as a into 9 raised to power 4 plus b into 9 raised to power 3 plus c into 9 square plus d into 9 plus e. Now when we divide n by 9 plus 1 10, right? B plus 1 types. So what would be the remainder? Here what happens? 9 by 10 remainder is minus 1. Minus 1 raised to power 4 is plus 1. So it gives a. Here 9 by 10 is minus 1. Minus 1 raised to power 3 is minus 1. So it gives minus b. So same we are getting a minus b plus c minus d plus e. Same as what we got here, right? Upon 10. So this is the remainder. Remainder would be alternate sum of the digit, the net difference of that. So if we write in generic form, say base is equal to n, so here also we can write a, b, c, d, e, or any number in base n. This can be written as a into n raised to power 4 plus b into n raised to power 3 c into n square d into n plus e. If we divide n by n plus 1 this time, so again the remainder should follow the same pattern, a minus b plus c minus d plus e by n plus 1, right? So if this term is 0, it means n is divisible by n plus 1. So here we have obtained the divisibility rule for any number in say base b or base n when divided by n plus 1. The divisibility test is nothing but alternate sum of the digits and a difference of those. And this is not true for only n plus 1. Like in the previous case, this is also true for the factors of n plus 1. Here in this case, in case of base 9, this is not true for only divisor when divisor is 10. Even if your divisor is 5, then also it is true, because if divisor is 5, 9 by 5 is what? Minus 1. Minus 1 raised to power 4 is plus 1. So a into 1. Here it becomes 9 by 5 is 4, that is minus 1. Minus 1 raised to power 3 is again minus 1. So it becomes minus 1 into b. So it's not only true for b plus 1 type thing, it's also true for the factors of b plus 1, right? Where b is a base. So with this background and understanding, now we'll move ahead and solve some questions based on this. Very quickly we'll move ahead. These are very simple. I mean, uh, back of the hand you can get the answer within seconds. So here the question is, find the remainder when 125,644,7 by 8 is divided. So now since base is 7 and divisor is 8, one more than, so we will apply the alternate thing. So what is alternate thing? We will start from rightmost. We will, this will be plus plus. Alternate digits from right hand side will be plus, and next digits after minus, minus and minus, right? So what we have done, we have taken here 4 plus 6 plus 2 minus 1 plus 5 plus 4, this by r, sorry 8. So here if we see, remainder would be nothing but 4 plus 6, 10, 12, 12 minus 10, right? 12 minus 10 is 2. So remainder would be 2. 2 upon 8, remainder would 2. So this is very simple. Now here we again it is 4350235 upon 4. This is in base 7 again. So again see, base is 7. So ideally if the divisor is 8, this would be the alternate sum would be the rule. But here divisor is 4, which is a factor of 8. Then also that rule is applicable. So what we will do, we will now again uh, for this sake I just write here, we'll add the digits from the right hand side, alternate digits, and then we will subtract the alternate digits from the remaining digits, right? So here it becomes like this, uh, 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4 minus 3 plus 0 plus 3, right, upon 4. So from here we can see 5 plus 2 7, 12, 16, 16 minus 9 is 7. So this is 3 plus 3 is 6, no? So 5 plus 2 7, 5 12, 16, 16 minus 6 is 10. It becomes 10 by 4, right? So here remainder would be 2, right? Again remainder is 2 here. So pretty simple. Uh, Now in this case, we'll not write the alternate sums in a different fashion. We'll do it mentally. 4 5 7 3 5431 upon 10. Base is 9 here. So what we will do? We will start from right hand side. 1 plus 4 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 5 13, minus 2, 2 plus 5 7, 7 plus 7 14, 14 plus 4 is 18. Is this correct? Let us see. 1 plus 4 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 5 13, and this 3 plus 5 8, 8 7 15 plus 4, this is 19 upon 10. So here remainder is minus 6. Minus 6 by 10, negative remainder concept we have seen, this is nothing but plus 4. So here remainder is 4. Another problem we will see here. 4 3 5 7 8 7 2 3 8 in base 9 upon 5. So again, if base is 9, then divisibility by 10 would be a alternate digit sum, and here divisor is 5, which is a factor of 10, so that rule is still applicable. So now again we'll add this. 8 plus 2 10, 10 plus 8 18, 18 5 23 plus 4 27, minus 3 plus 7 10, 10 17, 17 3 20, right? So this becomes 7 by 5, remainder is nothing but 2. A few more illustrations on the same concept here. It is 18729575 in base 15 by 8. What would be the remainder? Remainder is C. 15 is the base, so 16, n plus 1, b plus 1 is 16, factor of 16 is 8. So divisibility rule is applicable here, that is alternate digit sum. Here we'll start with 5, 5 plus 5 10, 10 to 12, 12 with 20. So it becomes 20, minus this becomes 7 plus 9 16, 16 7 23, 124. So 20, this becomes remainder is minus 4 by 8. So which is nothing but remainder is plus 4 in this case. Okay. Minus 4 means plus 4. Now we will see one more case, which is 1027 A39 upon 6, and this is represented in base 11. So 11 base, if divided by 12 or its factor, it would be a alternate digit sum. So remainder would be 9 plus a, age 10, 19, 19 to 21, 122, minus 3 plus 7 10, 10. So this is the case. And now we know that this odd addition subtraction we will be doing in base 10 here. So it becomes 12 by 6. Here remainder would be 0. So now we'll move to a generic thing. So here we had seen some special cases when the divisor was either one less than or one more than the base or their respective factors. Now we'll see some generic cases. So here what to do? So see, I mean, if the number is, if number n is given as a b c d e in base n, so this and this we can expand in base 10 as a into 10 raised to power, sorry, a into n raised to power 4 plus b into n raised to power 3 plus c into n square plus d into n plus e, right? Now if n has to be divided by any other number apart from n minus 1 or n plus 1 or their factors, so what can we do? Say it is a n minus 3, where n minus 3 is not a factor of n plus 1 or n minus 1. So we will divide. One thing, we can get the value here, I mean sum this, do the tedious calculation and get the final value and then divide that by n minus 3 and see the remainder, but that is going to be very time consuming. So one better way would be to find the respective remainders when n upon n minus 3, what is the remainder, n upon n minus 3 cube, what is the remainder, and those remainders can be individually multiplied to a, b, c, d respectively, and then final remainder can be obtained. We'll see this through an example, right? So here in this illustration, n is nothing but 102,739 to base 11. If this is to be divided by 8, right, so this I can write as 1 into 11 raised to power 5 plus 0 into 11 raised to power 4 plus 2 into 11 raised to power 3 plus 7 into 11 raised to power 2 plus 3 into 11 plus 9. Now here what happens if this number has to be divided by 8, so now we have expanded this to base 10, and if we were to find the final value, then this will be really difficult because 11 raised to power 5 and 4 and 3 is involved. So one way could be to, and that is the, I mean, quite a good way. What we will do, we will, and we know that if this has to be divided by 8, so basically we have to check the divisibility of this numerator by 8. So, and that will further break down to check the individual terms, 11 by 5 by 8, 11 by 4, 11 raised to power 4 by 8, what will be remainder. So that we will try to find here. 11 raised to power 1 remainder by 8. This is all in base 10 now, right? Now we, since we have converted this to base 10, all the operations or the dealings now will be in base 10. So when this is divided by 8, what would be the remainder? 3. Now 11 square, what would be the remainder here? 11 square. 11 square again it would be 3 into 3 9, 9 by 8 is 1, right? So if 1 has come, so I mean cyclicity is 2 here, that we know. We are trying to find the cyclicity of the powers of 11 when divided by 8. So here we can say that cyclicity is 2 because at the second power we have got 1. So what we can do now, so see, if n is nothing but 1 into 11 raised to power 5 plus 0 into 11 raised to power 4 plus 2 into 11 raised to power 3, 7 into 11 square, 3 into 11 plus 9. Now 11 by 11 raised to power 5 by 8, what would be the remainder? 5 being odd, it will be 3. In case of 4, the remainder would be 0. Here it will be 3, sorry, 1. Here it would be 1. Here 3. Here 1. So basically, if we have to find the remainder of n raised by n by 8, this is nothing but 1 into 3 plus 0 into 1 plus 2 into 3 plus 7 into 1, 3 into 3 plus 9 into 1. So from this complicated terms we have broken down to this simple term. Now this we can add 3 plus 0 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus 9. So this comes out to be 3, 6, 9, 7, 16, 16 and 18 is 34, right? So basically 34. So now we'll further divide by 8 to find the final remainder which will be less than 8. So it becomes here 8 for the 32, remainder would be 2. So 2 is the final remainder to this question. So approach, I just reiterate what we do. We just try to find the uh, cyclicity of the powers of the base with respect to divisors, and then that cyclicity we will apply to the respective products of the digits, right? We'll see a few more example and then the concept would be clear. Here it is like base is 7, so we know that this number when expanded would be in the powers of 7. So let's first see the cyclicity of 7 when divided by 5. So 7 1 remainder by 5, it is 2, 7 square remainder when divided by 5 is nothing but 2 4, which is minus 1, right? Or 4. So basically from here we can say cyclicity is 4, right? Which in second power we are getting minus 1, so fourth power we will be getting plus 1. 7 3 7 raised to power 3 divided by 5, remainder would be again minus 1 into 2 minus 2, which is nothing but 3, and 7 raised to power 4 divided by 5, remainder would be 1. So from these things we make use of. So n is 2 into 10 sorry 7 raised to power 4, 7 raised to power 4 plus 6 into 7 cube plus 5 into 7 square. 0 term we may write or we may ignore also, plus 5, right? Now we know that here the remainder would be 7 raised to power 4, it will be 1. 7 raised to power 3 is remainder is 3. 7 square remainder is minus 1. 7 1 remainder is 2. 5, that is 0. So here I mean it irrespective 1 we can write. So now what will happen here, n by 5 remainder would be 2 into 1 2 plus 6 into 3 18. 5 minus 1 minus 5 0 plus 5. This would be 18 plus 2 20 minus 5 15 plus 5 20. 20 by 5 remainder is 0. So 0 is the remainder, right? We'll see one more example of let us see. Here base is 9, divisor is 6. So we'll see what happens when 9 raised to power 1 is divided by 6. So remainder is 3. 9 square, what happens? 3 into 9, again it will be giving 3 only. This cyclicity thing we have seen in remainders classes. So you may refer back to those sessions. So whatever power of 9 you take, the remainder when divided by 6 will be 3 only, right? So this we can see now. So here n we can write as 4 into 9 raised to power 4 plus 7 into 9 raised to power 3 plus 8 into 9 square 2 into 9 plus 2, right? So when n by 6 we do, sorry this is not base 11, this is base 9 only. I mean that is hardly matters even if it's 11, because value of 6 in base 11 or base 9 is both 6 only, but just to make the question pattern say right, we should. So now n by 6, the remainder would be nothing but 4 into everything is 3 now on the remainders when 9 raised to power n divided by 6, remainder is 3. So we can straight away add the digits and multiply by 3 6. If we expand this remainder, final remainder would be 3. This we can see because this term is 4 8 12 7 19 23. So 23 into 3 is 69, by 6 is 3. So next we'll move to another concept of unit digit of a number in base system. So again we'll see what happens. I mean how do we calculate the unit digit? In decimal system, if a number n is say anything 4 5 6 7 0 0 0, so unit digit would be given by the remainder when divided by number is divided by 10, right? So unit digit is in base 10 in decimal system is given by the remainder when number is divided by 10, which is the base, right, decimal system. Similarly, so if we draw this or extend this analogy to other bases also, so unit digit in any base is given by the remainder when the number is divided by the base itself, right? So this is the, and why is this so, we just see. Let us take any example. I mean, a small example we will take here. Say suppose n is nothing but say 27 in base 3, right? So how do we convert? I mean, now we have to find unit digit of a number in a base system. We have to find the unit digit. So if 27 is converted to say base 3, this 27 is in base 10 here. If converted to base 3, what would be the unit digit? So how do we convert this number first? We divide 27 by the desired base. So 3 9 ja remainder is 0, 3 3 ja remainder is 0, 3 again divides 1 times remainder is 0. So now see, this is one, this is the conversion, right, from base 10 to base 3. But we are concerned with the unit digit, rightmost digit, and that is obtained by the first remainder. This is the first remainder. Remainder when the first base is dividing the number. So is it not that the first unit digit will be given by the remainder in the first step, right? So that is what we are doing. Unit digit in any base is given by the remainder when the number is divided by the base itself. So when this number is divided by the base itself, the remainder what we get in the first step, it becomes, that becomes the unit digit here, and that is what is 0 in this case. So suppose if the number had been say anything like 25, and we were asked to find the unit digit in base 3, so what we would have done, we would have simply divided 3 or 25 by 3. It goes 8 times, remainder is 1, so we could have directly said 1 would be the unit digit, right? And now if we check the actual conversion, we will get the same thing. 3 2 just 6, so it becomes 2 2 1. So this is the conversion, unit digit is 1. So we need not do on the process, we just simply divide 25 by 3, we get the unit digit, that is 1. So this is the very basic understanding of this concept. Now we will see some illustration on this. This is a bit simple example because 26 we know. Let us change this to any other, say 24 uh, in base 9 raised to power say 46, right? Let this 26 also we can do, just so find the unit digit of this power system. So we have seen in the remainders discussion that on the numbers the unit digit follow a cyclicity, right? The powers of a number follow the cyclicity. So here also we will see. Now what happens here, 4 is there, so 4 raised to power 1, and we will be dealing in base 9. So 4 raised to power 1 unit digit is 4 here. 4 square is 16, right? So what would be the conversion in base 9? Conversion in base 9, 16 would be 7, 1. So 7 becomes the unit digit. Now 4 cube, nothing but what we do. 4 square into 4 is 4 cube. So that is nothing but 4 into 17. 4 into 7 gives the unit digit, that is 28. 28 when converted to base 9 gives the digit as 1, and then uh, further would be 3 1. So we retain 1, right? So here we get the 1. So here now we know cyclicity is 3. So for cyclicity to be 3, now we have got that the powers of 4 show the cyclicity of 3 in base 9. So from here now we can say that, and we have to find a unit digit. Unit digit will be given only by the, I mean, whatever had been the number before 4, right? So unit digit would be given by powers of 4. Here the power of 4 is 46, which is in the form of 4 raised to power 3k plus 1, right? 45 plus 1. So 3k plus 1, right? In base 9. And we know 4 raised to power 3k has a cyclicity of 1. This gives a, I mean, unit digit of 1. So here unit digit become 1 into 4. Or basically we could have seen directly here 46 is just the first power of the second, which is 4. So we could have written directly 4 here. Or other way could have been to find the remainder when this number is divided by what? Base 9. Since base is 9 here, so if the number is divided by 9, that also we could have seen and checked what is the remainder, right? So this is the very simple process. I mean, very advanced concepts and illustrations we have seen in the chapters on remainders. Just the concept of base system has been slightly introduced here so that the, I mean, understanding becomes holistic. Now we'll move to the next illustration. Here it reads that find the remainder when a number in base n. So let the number in base n, base 7, which ends with 3 is divided by 3. So let it be some number which ends with 3 in base 7, right? And we have to find a remainder when n is divided by 7. So now see here, this in base 7, this number ends with 3, right? So what can we write? What can we write? One way would be that we can expand this, let this be say any random a b c into 3. So we can write this as 7 raised to power 3 into a plus 7 square into b plus 7 into c plus 3, right? This way we could have written. Now when we divide n by 7, so all these terms will cancel out, only remainder would be there in the last term, which is 3. So this is very intuitive also. Only the last digit would give the remainder in this case when the divisor is same as the base, right? So we'll move to the next question now. Here the question is, if n is a natural number, find the possible terminating digits of n square plus n in base 5. So let x be a number of the form n square plus n in base 5. First let us dig a bit in this n square plus n, which is nothing but n into n plus 1. Now n into n plus 1 is product of two consecutive integers. So that will always end with with either 0 or 2 or 6, right? It will always end with these three. You can take any example, any value of n. The product is going to end with 0, 2 or 6, right? So question is find the possible terminating digits. So see here now. So there are three cases. X is nothing but either terminating in 0 in 5, or X is any number terminating with 2 in base 5, or X may be any number terminating in 6 in base 5. Now for the numbers terminating in, sorry, I mean we'll not say this as base 5 right now. This is just the number n square plus n in base 10, and we know in base 10 that will always end with 0 to 6. So now we have to say what would be the terminating digit in base 5. So how do we find the unit digit in base 5? That we divide this number by 5, right? When we divide the number by 5, the remainder would give the unit digit of that we have seen as in the concept. So this, since it ends with 0, the remainder would be 0 only. So this will also end with 0 in base 5. Now when base is, this x is converted to base 5, so what happens? In this case, the remainder would be 2. Any number ending with 2 when divided by 5 will leave a remainder of 2. So this would be some number which ends with 2. And here if this number is converted to base 5, what would happen? Any number ending with 6 when divided by 5, the remainder would be 1, right? So it will be 1. So possible terminating digits in base 5 is nothing but 0, 2 or 1. So that is 0, 1 or 2. This is the answer. So the concept which we have made use of are twofold. One, this product of two numbers is always end with 0 to 6, two consecutive number. And now how do we convert, I mean know a unit digit of any number which is converted to other base? So that we know because that we have seen. For that you just need to divide the number by the base. So here divide this number x by base 5. So in this case remainder would be 0, in this case 2, and in this case remainder is 1, and remainder itself give the unit digit. So we have got this answer now. In question number 19, uh, in what base b is the equation valid? So see here, this is any number which ends with 3 in base b multiplied with any number which ends with 5 in base b gives 2 in base b. So this is, I mean, very simple and a basic use of the multiplication in base system. So we have seen that when two now, I mean here base is say b, so 3 into 5, 15, right? And now 15, so what should be the base such that a unit digit is 2? So we check with say, I mean straight away we can say it will be 13 here. Base will be 13 because 15 when converted to base 13 would give 1 and 2. But we can check with other bases also. Say base is equal to 17, 7. So 15 when converted to base 7 would give other value that will be 2, 1. Similarly, if base is 9, then 15 when converted to base 9 would give 1, 6. So that way we can check 13 would satisfy. This is straight away also we can say. So base is nothing but, right. So base 13 is the answer. Now this problem we will see, that is problem 20. Here it says find the smallest integer in decimal system greater than or equal to 4 that has unit digit of 3 when written in base 4, 6, 8 and 9. So here n is a number, say any number a, b, c, d, e, any general number which is more than equal to 4. Now when this n is written in base 3, unit digit is, sorry, base 4, unit digit is 3, right? When n is written in base 6, unit digit is 3. n is written in base 8, unit digit is 3. And when n is written in base 9, unit digit is 3 again. So does this not mean, can we say here this equation means if n converted to base 4 giving unit digit 3, so n in base 10 would have been a what? N in base 10 when divided by 4 the base, it would have given 3 as a remainder. Then only 3 is coming here. If n in the decimal system divided by the base 4 gives a remainder 3, we can say that when n converted to base 4, the unit digit would be the remainder, which is 3, right? Here we can write 6k2 plus 3, and here we write n, it means n in base 10. So here it becomes 8k3 plus 3, and here it is like n is equal to 9k4 plus 3. So this is a very familiar form. We have seen this, we have seen extensively in the discussion on LCM HCF. So if this is the form, we can directly say n is nothing but of the form LCM of 4, 6, 8, 9 plus 3, right? We have seen this. I need not dare much upon this. So here LCM of 4, 6, 8, 9, I think it's 4, 6, 8, 9, 72. I think hi 72. So it is 72 some multiple say k5 plus 3. This is the general form of n. So such that all these equations are satisfied. And now we have to find the smallest integer greater than equal to 4. So here then k5 can take all the values from 0 to a. But if we take k5 is equal to 0, then the n will be 3. It's not more than or equal to 4. So here we will take k5 is equal to 1. So smallest n is nothing but 72 into 1 plus 3, which is 75 is the answer, right? So what are the concepts we have made use of? The basic concept which we are seeing right now ki when a number in base 10 is divided by another, uh, so we have to convert, I mean find the unit digit when this number is converted in base 4. So that unit digit is given by the remainder when the number in base 10 is divided by 4, right? And then we have made use of this basic concept on LCM to obtain the answer. Now similar problem, find the possible integers less than 1000 in decimal system that has unit digit of 4, 4 and 7 when written in base 8. So again here n in base 10, let it be some a, b, c, d, e, any general number, right? Now it is given that, now directly I can write, see, in base 8 it gives a unit digit of 4. It means n can be written as 8 k1 plus 4. Similarly n when converted to base 12 gives a remainder of 4. It means n when divided by 12 gives a remainder of 4. Similarly n when converted to base 15 gives a remainder of 7, possible only when n is the form 15 k3 plus 7, right? So from here I can write n is LCM of 8, 12, 15 plus, no, this we cannot write. Why? Because in the previous case the remainders were same. Here it's different. So for this we have a different approach of solving this. How do we solve this? We will first take any two equation, like say first 3 and let this be equation 1. So from say equation 2 and 3, 2 and 3. So it gives 12k2 plus 4 is 15k3 plus 7, right? It, so this we can further simplify that 12k2 is equal to 12k3 plus 3k3 plus 3. LHS is a multiple of 12, so RHS must be a multiple of 12. So this term should also be a multiple of 12, right? So this will be a multiple of 12 when? Let's equate this term to 0, 12. If we make it 12, then k3 is equal to 3, the smallest value which we gave. So here from these two equations we can write the n as nothing but LCM of 12 comma 15 plus substitute k3 is equal to 3 in this equation. What do we get? 15 3 is 45 plus 7 is 52. So it becomes 52. This also we have seen in LCM chapter. So and LCM of 12 15 is 180. So 180 k4 plus 52. Now this equation 4 we will from equation 4 and 1 we will write 8k1 plus 4 is equal to 180 k4 plus 52. This we can simplify. 8k1 is equal to this I can write as 176 k4 plus 4k4 plus 54 minus 52 minus 4 is 48. Basically I have broken 180 into 176 and 4. Why 176? Well, this is the largest multiple of 8 in this 180. So now LHS is a multiple of 8, so RHS must be a multiple of 8. This term is already a multiple of 8, so this should be a multiple of 8, right? So this will be a multiple of 8 at k4 is equal to 0 itself, right? K4 if we put 0, 48 is a multiple of 8. So k4 is equal to 0, we substitute. So from here we can get n is LCM of 180 and 8 plus substitute k4 is equal to 0 here, it becomes 52. So basically n is of the form I write here. So n is of the form here LCM of 8 and 180 is how much? That I think is 360, I think 360. So it becomes 360 say k5 plus 52. So this is general form of, so this is the final form of number which will satisfy all the three equations. Now we have to find the possible integers. So we know now that n is 360 k5 plus 52. So possible values of n less than 1000 will be at k5 is equal to 0. K5 is equal to 0 will give n is equal to 52 possible. K5 is equal to 1 will also satisfy. K5 is equal to 2 will also satisfy, right? So n less than is equal to nothing but k5 is equal to 0 gives 52. K5 is equal to 1 gives 360 plus 52 is 412, and k5 is equal to 2 gives 720 plus 52, that is nothing but 772. So three possible values are of n is the answer here, right? So this is the answer: 52, 412 and 772 answer. So very basic concept which we have used for base system, to obtain the unit digit we need to multiply the number in the decimal form by the base, and that becomes the remainder becomes the unit digit. This concept along with the basic concepts on LCM how to solve a question of this nature we have seen in the chapters on NCM. These two, broadly these two concepts we have using this obtained the answer. Now this was the question which appeared in CAT 2003, uses a similar concept. A positive whole number m less than 100 is represented in base 2 notation, base 3 notation, and base 5 notation. In all the three cases, the last digit is 1. So now we can write m is nothing but when base is 2, last digit is 1. It means 2k1 plus 1 it must be. Similarly, it must be 3k2 plus 1 and m must be 5k2 plus 1. From these three we can say m must be of a form LCM of 2, 3, 5, say k4 plus 1. So this is nothing but 30, 30 k4 plus 1 form, right? So possible values of m is nothing but k4 is equal to 0, then it becomes 1. It's not possible because right. So we take all the values which is more than 1 for the base system to be true. I mean, so k4 is equal to 2, it gives k4 is equal to 1, it gives 31, 2 it gives 61, 3 it gives 91. So these three values are possible, right? Now the second part of the question reads, while in exactly two out of the three cases the leading digit is 1, right? So these three values satisfy that unit digit is 1 when converted to base 2, 3 and 5. But now we have to check for the first digit also. How to check here? So if 31, 61, 91, these are the numbers, and here we will write the bases, right? So base is 2, 3 and 5, right? So now we know that any base which any number converted to base 3 will either have 0 or 1, and the first digit will have to have 1 because anything any number of zeros before that 1 is meaningless. So first digit will have to have 1, so it will be form of 1, uh, either 0 or 1, right? Here 1 ends with 1 only, so this will be of this fashion, right? On the 3, right? So we need not check for 2, we know it's going to be 1, and it says exactly 2 out of the 3 cases the leading digit is 1. So now check for 3. 3 we can do this manually. Convert 31 to base 3. How do we convert? Divide, start successively dividing the number by 3. So 3 10 ja, then 3 3 ja 9, 1 3. This is the one. So here also this satisfies last digit 1, first digit 1. Let us convert 31 to 5, 5 base 5. It gives 5 6 ja, 6 we can write as 1 1 1. So this also satisfies, but question says only 2 out of the 3 cases satisfy. So therefore 31 cannot be a answer, right? Because in case of 31, all the 3 conversions end and start with 1. Now for 61 we will check. 61 we can convert to base 3. It gives 320, 20 ka 3 6, 3 2 ja. So 2021. So this does not end, start with 2. Let us check for 5. Here it can be 5 12 5 2 ja. So it, so this again does not satisfy because it says exactly 2 out of the 3 cases should start with 1. Here only one case starts with 1, so it does not satisfy. For 91 we will check 330. So this is 1 30 0 10 3 3 ja 1011 or 10101. For 5 we will see 5 18 ja 1 18 5 3 ja 15 3 3, right? So in this case exactly two numbers, conversion to base 2 and base 3, starts and end with 1. So this is the correct answer. So answer here would be 91, right? So this is the approach here. Now the last question we'll see. All numbers from 1 to 500 in decimal systems are written in base 5 and base 9. How many of the numbers will have a non-zero unit digits in both base 5 and base 9, right? Base 5 and base 9 notations. So here a number is there in decimal system. When this is written in base 5 and base 9, the question is how many of the numbers will have a non-zero unit digit. So for non-zero unit digit is only possible when n divided by 5, the remainder are not equal to 0. Then only it's possible to have a non-zero unit digit of n when converted to base 5 is possible only when this r is not equal to 0. And similarly, n is equal to 9k2 plus r2, r2 not equal to 0. Then only it's possible. In that case, unit digit will be r1 and r2. So it means that n is not a multiple of 5 or 9. So we have to find basically the number of numbers less than 500 which are not a multiple of 5 or 9. So how to find this? This also we have seen many a times. So first we'll find numbers which are multiples of 5 in 1 to 500. How do we check? That is nothing but 5k form. So it will be given by, that will be given by 500 by 5, which is there are 100 numbers. Then numbers which are multiples of 9 in 1 to 500, that will be given by 500 by 9. What would it to be? Integer function we input to get an integer answer. So here it becomes 9 5 ja 45 and 9 5 ja again 45. So 55 point something. So the number would be 55, right? And there would be some multiples which will be both multiple of 5 and 9. Numbers which are multiples of both 5 and 9 in 1 to 500. So that we can find as 9 5 and 9 is 45, right? So 500 by 45 integer value in 5. So greatest integer of this would be, that is I think 45 100 45 2 ja. So that gives 20, right? 45, no, that is 1 11, that is 11. So required answer would be, so how to find the numbers which are not multiple of 5 and 9? So what we will do, total possible numbers is 500 minus we subtract the multiples of 5 or 9. What are the multiples of 5 or 9? That is 100 plus 55, and 11 numbers we have counted in both the cases. These 11 numbers are present in 100 also, 55 also, so counted twice. So one time we will subtract to avoid repetition. So it becomes 500 minus, this is 144 I believe. So 144, right? So therefore it gives that Here it is 10 minus 4 is 6, 9 minus 4 is 5. This is 356. So there are 356 numbers which will have non-zero unit digits in both base 5 and 9 notation. So this is the answer. So basically this is the approach to solve questions around remainders, unit digit of any number in any base system. So with a bit of a practice, you can just uh, gain expertise over this concept. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks a lot.